Hello everyone and welcome back to another Figurehead Reviews video, and today we are taking a look at the Marvel Legends Starforce Captain Marvel. We have Captain Marvel displayed here in the front window. We get the Captain Marvel movie logo there. We get all the extra pieces we need for Minerva as well. Notice it doesn't have the Build-A-Figure logo up there at the top because this is kind of a standalone exclusive. We get the Captain Marvel logo there though at the very top. We have some artwork here on the side of Captain Marvel in her Starforce uniform. And then on the back we get the unmasked version as well as a little inlaid shot of with the mask on. We have no other figures displayed down here, but we do have the read-up at the top. Using her intensive training from her days in the Air Force, Carol Danvers boldly leads an intergalactic fleet as Captain Marvel. And down here we have the UPC code, so you can check with your local Target to see if they have this in stock. But enough about that, let's get this open and take a look at Captain Marvel. And here is the Starforce Captain Marvel outside of her packaging, and yeah, I mean, it's just a repaint of the standard Captain Marvel figure, but it's actually really well done. I like the shade of green that they use on it. It comes out looking really cool, similar to how they did the blue and the red on the regular Captain Marvel figure, so I think that is pretty cool. This one, like I said, does not come with a Kree Sentry Build-A-Figure, but it does come with extra parts necessary to make a completely different figure, which is really cool of Hasbro to do that. So we'll go ahead and use a little editing magic here. And then we have Dr. Minerva. And I think personally for me, that is how I'm going to have this particular figure on display, is with the Dr. Minerva pieces. Some people I've heard are going to buy two of these so that they can have both. To each their own. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that just because, I don't know, it doesn't seem really necessary to be honest. But either way, I think it's really cool that Hasbro did that. Like I said, I think they could have just left it as a Starforce Captain Marvel and left it as a generic repaint. But instead, they actually gave us the ability to have a completely different figure represented. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and take a look at some of the accessories, and then we'll get a better look at each of the head sculpts and the differences between the two figures that make them each unique. And here is everything that we get with the Starforce Captain Marvel / Dr. Minerva. So we basically can see the workings here for two different figures. We have the unmasked head for Captain Marvel and then the Starforce head. We'll look at those when we get a closer look. We have the Dr. Minerva head. We'll look at that as well on a closer look. And that leaves us with basically the components that you need to create Dr. Minerva, which we'll kind of look at that, but it's just the sling and then the scarf, nothing crazy there. And then you get a set of hands for each figure. So we get a pair of fisted hands for Captain Marvel, and then we get a pair of gripping hands there for Dr. Minerva. And the only real difference here is, of course, the color of the skin on the fingerless gloves. So not a whole lot there. And then that leaves us with our sniper rifle or blaster here. And it's pretty cool looking. I do like the blue tones here that we get in. It's almost a teal throughout, which is kind of cool. It goes well with the color scheme on the figure, so I like that. And the hands don't have any issues grabbing hold of the trigger and things like that. And then I actually forgot to point out this hand is just an open hand, which is used for, of course, cradling the barrel on the Dr. Minerva figure. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And starting first with the unmasked head, we can see the exact same head sculpt that was used with the regular suit version of Captain Marvel for the unmasked head. So they're the same, no surprises there, but it still looks good. The hair came out looking good, and the paint looks good on it. So yeah, not much there. I'm not going to spend too much time. If you want to see more in depth, check out the other video. But real quick, we'll swap out for the Minerva head here, and get that. Well, close enough. We'll take it off here in a second anyway. It does sit lower on that. But taking a look at that, I think that came out really, really good. I like the blue. Similar to what we got with the green metallic on the suit, we get a very cool blue metallic paint going around the mask. And even on the lips, actually, it looks like kind of a purple metallic paint there. So I like that. And we get some subtle highlights of the blue and black in her hair. And I actually really like how the hair was sculpted. I think that came out really good. Looks like, though, they missed and, yeah, they stopped painting there on the shaved part of her head. That's interesting. But, yeah, I really like that head sculpt. I think it came out looking really, really good. Looking now at, oh, maybe, was it on the way or all the way? Does it sit that high? Yeah, all right, I guess it does sit a little bit high, maybe. And then swapping out for the Starforce Captain Marvel head. There we go. And then once again, this is the same head that we saw with the regular suited version. We just get the green instead. So still looks good. A little bit looks like on her nose and the flesh area. Yeah, the green, not the best, but she's got a little black line on her cheek, but still not bad. Going down the rest of the figure, so the body mold, once again, as I mentioned, it is the exact same body mold throughout, with the exception, of course, I just have the fingers there, the flying pose. But yeah, otherwise, it's the same sculpt work. We just get some different color paint, but we see some of the same problems that we had with the other figure, which is a little bit misaligned in some of the paint details. So looking at some of the finer points, yep, same issue there with the triangles not really lining up. And the star is a mess on the bottom point there, completely missed. Back's not terrible. The belt's not terrible. Yeah, so it's not all that bad. And the articulation is going to be the same. So you have a head that can go side to side, can look down that far, can look up that far. You do have shoulders that can come up quite a ways, and just like the other one, those shoulder pads are glued down low, so it's not a problem to bring the shoulders up that high. Full rotation there at shoulder. You do have a single jointed elbow with rotation. You have rotation and a hinge at the wrists. You have a diaphragm joint that can look down about that far and look up that far, and not really bad gap. No waist articulation, legs that can go back that far, kick forward that far, upper thigh cut, double jointed knee, and then you do have a hinge and ankle pivot. And for a quick comparison, here we have now all the Captain Marvel figures that I have, 3 of them coming from this wave alone, but we have the comic book version all the way there on the left, and then we have the standard Captain Marvel, the Starforce Captain Marvel, and the Bomber Jacket Captain Marvel. And real quick, I just wanted to make sure that I showed Minerva standing next to Jan Rog so you can see how the suits look together, and I think they look great, and this is going to be how I have them displayed for sure, using the Minerva version of this figure, fighting against the regular version of Captain Marvel. And finally, here is the entire MCU Captain Marvel wave, starting at the left with Nick Fury, then Jan Rog, the Starforce Target exclusive displayed here as Minerva. We have Captain Marvel, the Bomber Jacket Captain Marvel, Kree Sentry Build-A-Figure, Genisvel, the Grey Gargoyle, and Talos. And that about does it for this review, everyone. Make sure to check down below in the comment section. I will be leaving my final thoughts with this figure down there, and I would certainly love to hear what you guys think of it. I will say, though, real quick, that I am going to be displaying this personally as Minerva and not the Starforce Captain Marvel, just because I have the red and blue Captain Marvel. I don't see the point in having both. But as I said, make sure to leave a comment down below and letting me know what you think. And then aside from that, make sure to hit that like button if you like this review. Subscribe for more content just like this. And aside from that, thanks for watching my video and have a great day.